Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin. On behalf of the Department of Energy, the Office of River Protection here in Richland, Washington, welcome to today's retirement ceremony. We will be honoring Maxine Lynn Cooper Ford. And of course, if I called her that, she'd kill me. So it'll be Max. We honor her as she retires following 33 years of dedicated and faithful service to the United States government. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would all please rise. It'll be for the singing of the national anthem by Clayton Atchison. It is customary for civilians to place their right hand over their heart during the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Clayton, for that inspiring rendition of the national anthem. Again, welcome to today's ceremony honoring Max Cooper Ford. And I understand that this may be the first of this type of ceremony for this office of DOE. We certainly hope you enjoy today's ceremony and perhaps adopt some of the things for the future. Thank you very much for coming. I am Max's baby sister, Sandy, and I'm honored to be the MC for today's retirement. Please allow me to introduce some of Max's family and mine and the guests that we have here today, also via computer. Our parents, Richard and Helen Cooper of Nampa, Idaho. Max's oldest son, Richard Curtin, and his wife, Nisha, and their sons Thomas and Nick, courtesy of the computer, of Clinton, Utah. Her youngest son, TJ, unable to be with us today because he is in Air Force training to become an F-16 crew chief, and he's at Shepherd Air Force Base. However, representing him via computer is his wife, Adrienne, and their children, Tyler, Braxton, and Parker of Roy, Utah. Also with us today via computer is her bonus daughter, Laura Hale, and her children, Braden and Kira of Pocatello, Idaho. Her other bonus daughter, Jill Caney, and her husband, Garrett, and their children, Rihanna and Tayson of Meridianville, Alabama. And you guys can't see it, but we get to see their smiles.
There's little tiny icons over there waving at me.
That's so awesome. Okay, and here with us today is our oldest sister, Shirley Cooper Aguilar. And unfortunately, her husband is home working in Roy, Utah. Also with us is my husband, Greg. And Max's goddaughter, not my daughter, but
No.
Max's goddaughter, Samantha.
I own her.
Also unable to be with us today is my son Christopher and his wife Jessica from Travis Air Force Base, California. And also on the computer is our nieces Shantae Austin and Shyla Tarani from San Jose, California. Beth.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Okay.
Other family members who were unable to join us today include Max's other nieces and nephews, Danny Tarani, his son Brandon, Shantae's husband Brian, Joseph Tarani, all of San Jose, California, and her other niece, Elizabeth Cooper, who also brings her honorary granddaughter, Callie. And never to be forgotten or left out of our family is our sister Joanne, who passed away far too young in 1996. But we know she's with us today. We would also like to recognize Max's longtime best friend and sister in cancer survival, Rosemary Smith, affectionately known as
Oh my
Smitty.
God, is that her name? What's it say? This is Brandy.
No, that's Dixie.
That's Dixie.
I'm in Dixie.
You brought Dixie with
Dixie with us.
Thank you.
And another special honor Max wanted to mention, because Max wouldn't be near as cute without this.
And I do mean that.
Brandy Ball. Finally, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for making this a priority in your day. We appreciate it. And a special thank you to the managers and the directors and the supervisors, current or retired. Max appreciates everyone who came and appreciates her dedicated government career. This ceremony provides an opportunity to say thank you for a long and faithful service, to wish her good luck in the future, and bid her a heartfelt farewell. Uh-oh.
Oh, what's your name?
I blew it. Yeah, so, like, the second most important person in the room, Max's husband, John. Us family.
Doesn't really like to claim me.
All right, so let's take a minute and look at Max's distinguished career. Starting at the beginning, Max was born one of 4 girls to Dick and Helen Cooper. In fact, she's the number 3. As you may have noticed, her middle child syndrome. She was born in Minnesota, but our family moved to Utah when she just barely turned 5. And then we moved again to Massachusetts, where her and I grew up. She graduated high school, got married for the first time, and later had her oldest son, Richie. After some time, they then relocated back to Utah to find steady work. She credits our parents for giving her a great foundation, drive, motivation, sense of fairness, love of life, and values of hard work. Max has spent 33 incredible years working for the United States government in one capacity or another. She started her career in 1981 at Hill Air Force Base, Utah. She actually left a fire and police dispatch job for the security of a government job to help support her children. She began as a GS2 key punch operator. She quickly moved up and out of that, becoming a procurement clerk. Being an outgoing, dynamic individual that she is, Max rapidly rose within the procurement directorate. She eventually became a hiring supervisor for the group. During this assignment, she learned sign language because 4 of her employees were deaf, and she was their supervisor. She would have it no other way. She saw it as her duty to communicate with them and be able to mentor them, not the other way around. The procurement directorate grew from 150 people to over 300 during her time. Her roles changed a few times while working in this area of contracting, but always giving her more opportunities to learn and grow. A few assignments she has held over her years. She was a liaison to the Inspector General, the GAO, Government Accounting Office for anybody who doesn't know, Office of Special Investigations, the Air Force Audit Agency, and the Judge Advocate General. She was also assigned as a protocol officer for a period of time, serving front office with visitors and foreign nationals. If there's anyone that infuses passion in her work, it's Max. Throughout these years, Max was always active in the community. It was during this time at Hill Air Force Base that she discovered a very small base-run organization called Sub for Santa. This is an organization designed to support military and civilians in the local community and surrounding Hill Air Force Base with food, money, or gifts during the holiday seasons from Thanksgiving to Christmas. It is most notable that once Max got involved, the program became highly visible. She was selected to become the Sub for Santa president, and during this time, she wrote a mission statement for them, organized the volunteers into a more productive and cohesive workforce. She established procedures that would allow military members to work as part of the program, and their involvement would count for community service hours. She formed the basis for which the 75 to 100 volunteers could help with fundraising, toy refurbishing, and food distribution. She was highly recognized for all the good she was able to do through this organization. By the last term of her presidency, they raised over $68,000 and supported 781 families. Many local communities looked at her program as a model, and she routinely briefed two-star generals, mayors, city managers, and instituted these programs for others. She was recognized for all, she also instituted a recognition program for all volunteers that worked on the program. It was due to this program and her numbers of years committed to community service that she earned two very distinguished awards. She was given one of the original 1,000 Points of Light Award. In fact, she received number 786 by President George Bush in 1992. And she also received the 1992 Angel Award. Please take a moment when you have a chance to look at these on the back table and out in the foyer, as her recognition moment with the President is featured there. I would like to note that in July of this year, they just gave out number 5,000. And President Obama noted that this program and the first 1,000 recipients have made an impact that has lasted generations. In 1998, her husband Dar's job with the railroad was transferred from Salt Lake City to Hermiston, Oregon, to help accommodate for the 2002 Winter Olympics. This left Max in a very tough situation to try to find another government job. So to be able to continue her career, they chose to come to Kennewick. As living in Hermiston and finding a career, not so much. At this point, John Vachon and Christy Wagnold hired her to be the program assistant. But when they hired her, John said, quote, "I'm sure you won't be with me long with all of your experience," and thus began her career here at DOE. Throughout the years here, she's had ups and downs and twists and turns. She's been through 6 managers, countless supervisors, but once she finally landed in customer service, helping ORP with its P-card system, she knew she'd found a new home. Max has had many personal relationships here that have changed the course of her life forever, including those who helped her while going through treatment and ultimately surviving stage 4 breast cancer. During her 16 years here in the Pacific Northwest, Max has had lots of adventures. She's been able to vacation back on her houseboat at Lake Powell several times, and was fortunate enough to own a boat here as well. She has learned all about hydro racing, teaches us constantly, and is still an avid enthusiast of this to the day. During the years, she has added 10 grandchildren, several nieces and daughters to make it a total of 11. She is very happy to have her expanded family, and she also appreciates the fact that she was able to continue her career here at DOE. At this point, a few of former and current supervisors will say a few words. First will be Mr. Dick French, the first ever ORP manager.
And the shortest surviving one. I'm honored to be here. I was very surprised when Max called me and asked me if I would attend. It's not often an ex-employee asks you to go to a retirement party, so thank you. We set up ORP, and we set it up against quite a great deal of resistance, I might say. And it was brought into being by a law passed by Doc Hastings in the Congress of the United States. And I think on my second day on the job, a senior EM manager in headquarters told me that law was very thinly supported. That's an exact quote. I was very fortunate, though, to have an excellent ORP staff, which had been essentially transferred from RL. I read in the paper that RL thinks it's absolutely critical OR continue. It's much too complicated for one field office. Let me tell you, that wasn't the way it was then. Everything was a fight, locally as well as in Washington, D.C., to set the office up. And although I had a great staff, Don Alexander tells me 20% still survive. I see one standing right over there. His hair, but who hasn't? There were two folks that were really helpful to me. Talk about one who was here first, which was Talkie Tim Nolte, who we got as a deputy manager from headquarters. And the reason he was helpful is I understood very little about DOE. Something about field offices because I commanded contractor management, but absolutely nothing about headquarters. And of course, a year and a half later, I still didn't understand about headquarters. It was also way more than I wanted to understand about headquarters, if you know what I mean. The other, of course, was Max. And Max, on day one, was extremely helpful to me. She was my office assistant, one of her steps in progression. And kept me out of much mischief with headquarters people. I come back from somewhere I was, and there'd be people sitting in my office. I didn't even know I had a meeting. Max had said, "You need to talk to these people." And I did. And I can say that all of them were very helpful, and good relations came from them. Even though it was a short period of time, there was much trauma going on everywhere. There was no concrete and steel in the ground in the bid plant. There was a lot of questions of whether it would actually be done. The office had been broken out. The contractors were not aligned with the office. All the procurement authority resided in Washington, D.C. We were in the RL building, and you know, bureaucracy seeps from the walls over there. And so we had a lot of things to do, and there were 4 or 5 things that really dealt with the bigger alignment issues of ORP. The largest one was kill an idiot concept called privatization, which took a year and a half to do. That is why I didn't go past that point. But it is, and now we have a contractor organization with a field office that's set up. Its contractors are aligned. They have clear roles and responsibilities. And yes, the cost of bid plant's going to go up. We all knew that. Maybe not quite as much as it has, but we all know it's going up. It is going to get done, and contrary to what you believe, it is going to work. And Max has been here the entire time, and a super valuable part of the organization in doing that. Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Mr. French. And next will be Eric Olds, the Chief of Staff at ORP.
This
a roast, right? Well, I too am honored to be able to speak about Max today. I was very surprised when she asked me. And welcome Max family and friends. I'm glad you could all be here. I think I'd start out by saying the ceremony itself is probably the best message about Max's contribution to this organization. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen people kind of gathered into the room. Yeah, they're spilling out into the hall. This is a fantastic statement on Max and how she's enriched the lives of the people in this organization and the organization itself. And as I said, I was surprised when Max asked me to speak. Well, two things actually. I was deeply honored when Maxine. And then I was a little bit afraid. But for this reason, I thought, what would I say? And you've heard that saying, what do you get someone that has everything? What do you say about someone that's done everything? And I think the first thing we say is thank you from the bottom of our hearts for what you've done for us. I think the second thing we say is congratulations, you made it out of here. And you made it out of here on your terms, which is important. And to that point, in thinking about what I would say about you, we've known each other a long time. I've got lots of stories. Lots of stories. I've worked with Max a lot of years. I've watched her a lot of years in this organization. And in thinking about what Max has done, not only for me, the other people in this room, and the organization, I think about a quote, one of my favorite, from Malcolm Forbes, and it says, "You can easily judge the character of a man, of a woman, by how she treats those who can do nothing for her." By how she treats those who can do nothing for her. And when I think about Max over the years, her character has never changed. I mean, we could talk about her different assignments, her different jobs, a wonderful career. But in my time here at ORP and watching Max, she has never changed her character. And we've been together on the same side of issues. We've even been on the opposite side of issues. But in that time, she has never changed. She has stuck by her guns. She has stuck by her. And I think we, as people working with her, are better people for it. And I think this is a better organization for it as well. So thank you, Max. And thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Eric. And now her current supervisor, Mark McCusker, Director of Contract and Property Management.
I'll just tell you, there's nobody more nervous than Max than me. I always have the habit, and people know it, I cry. It's kind of hard when you have senior managers here that are used to doing this. I have myself, who unfortunately I'm now getting used to doing this. Going, being third, that, trying to think of what would I say about Max. And it's patriotic dedication to service, to remind us that here it's an honor and a privilege to serve our country, and that during times of federal bashing, sometimes we need to step aside and hang our heads high and feel proud of what we accomplished. And I think Max has always lived that. She's breathed that she takes it to heart, that she represents the American taxpayer. And she tries to make sure that when she does stuff, that she helps us succeed in our mission, but she also looks at an angle, am I doing what the American taxpayer would want us to do? So, I'm really proud of to tie into some of this thing. I started my career with DOD. I was there for a year and a half. For the next 24 and a half years, I worked for DOE And I'll tell you, the number one pet peeve being in DOE is when you have new people come across from DOD and they go, that's not the way we did it in DOD. And you feel like telling them, it's like, well, you're not in DOD anymore, you're in DOE. But I can tell you truthfully, Max, with this ceremony, I think you brought something from DOD. So for you, you're one of the few successes in saying, hey, maybe there is something from DOD. An honor and a privilege to be your boss. And you know, like how we're going to miss you. From my group, and from me, they kind of all tie in together. So we'll have you open this, the larger one first. We know you don't do, normally tradition in our group is we get a jacket. And of course, as you can see, Max doesn't wear jackets. She doesn't wear jackets, so that wasn't going to work.
No, that
So we
wasn't
have to
gonna
use this
work.
instead.
Okay.
So let's open that first.
Some of the grandchildren at the door.
Grandpa, your knife?
Yeah, Grandpa, give me the knife. Dad comes through again.
Dad
Obviously, Mark didn't have that.
Oh, yeah, one more. Just leave it with her.
They didn't want to get open.
That's not like on TV where you're supposed to put it on.
No, it's not.
Obviously, know you got family, all of us.
It's our logo with my name on it.
Oh, yay.
That is neat. Oh, okay.
The little one?
Yeah.
This one's from me personally to you.
Okay, I can get this one.
That's it, all kind of tied in together.
Okay, would you?
I'll read it for you. Inscribed is, as time goes by, remember your friends at ORP, MTM. Initials. While traveling to Warner Clock to take with you on your travel. That now, for your travels, a little something for you to get you on your travels.
Oh, my.
And a card from my group.
All right.
Thank you, Mark. And last, but certainly not least, the manager of the Office of River Protection, Richland, Washington, Kevin Smith.
First of all, note to self, don't speak after Mark McCusker or Eric Olson. And for Dick French, I still have the potential to be a shorter tenured manager. You know, I thought about today and I said, okay, well, this is going to be a celebration of service with family. And after meeting the family, it's a celebration of a family of service. And it really struck me that this is exactly your family. That it is it's an extension of service, an extension of country, it's an extension of patriotism, as mentioned before. It's an extension of just what makes America great. And so the family and to Max, it's really it's all of you in one spot, in one way. I will tell you that Max and I have share a little bit of Air Force experience, and I did wear an Air Force ring today. Just don't worry, I still have plenty of time to get even with him for the rest of the day. But no, I think one's career. I often ask folks, what do you want to do when you hang up your shingle? What do you want to look back? In fact, I can see people in the room I've asked this question to. When you're finally done with your service, when you're finally done with your working life, and you want to stop and you want to look back and say, what have I accomplished? What's out there? What makes my life worthwhile? What's make my service worthwhile? And I think when you have been across the things you've done, and that you can look back at the accomplishments you've made, whether they be for people that needed help, whether they be for service, whether they be for a country, or just to help people out on a day-to-day basis with something we needed with a P-card. Max has been certainly emblematic of service, emblematic of wanting to do things right, emblematic of family and family values and family opportunities and in the family of service. I'm just going to call your family. So I think that I think folks said it well. I think we'll miss Max in many capacities, and the energy and enthusiasm and the opportunity to serve and help. And I think the people here speak volumes for you. So, I have a couple things that it's my honor to present. So let's start with the cups. So you sit for the first one. So we'll start with
Star 4, would you please come forward?
please. Okay. I'm going to put you right there. See tape? Well, this is, I'd like to present a certificate. This is the U.S. Department of Energy Office of River Protection Spouse Appreciation Certificate. It says Darwin, I'm sorry. That's okay. On the occasion of the retirement of your spouse from federal civil service, we wish to extend to you our grateful appreciation of your support and understanding, which helped make possible her many contributions to the United States of America and the Department of Energy. You take with you our best wishes for health, happiness, and success in the years ahead, and it's signed by the manager and again the division director. And these are emblematic again of a team effort, because a lot of folks are either radiated or hampered by a spouse when it comes to working life. When a spouse has contributed so much to the success of the team, this is well earned. So, having said that, I'll shake your hand. I'll hold the certificate for all the cities.
Rich Curtin, would you please come forward?
Old son. Richard E. Curtin. This is a certificate of appreciation presented to Richard E. Curtin. This is to certify that Richard E. Curtin, on this occasion of the retirement of his mother from the United States Civil Service and the Department of Energy, has earned the grateful appreciation for his unselfish, faithful, and devoted service to his mother and our country. His support and understanding helped make his mother make lasting contributions to the nation. Awarded this first day of November 2013. Again, I say it's family matters. And to have and call out an opportunity for the son to be recognized as well in this way is not very often done. So it speaks volumes of what you've been to your mother and to her opportunity to serve. That's your turn.
I'll be the tape girl.
Well, I have had the opportunity to work with Max now since the first part of January. And I can honestly say it's my privilege and my honor to present this. That said, In recognition and service, presented to Maxine L.
Thanks, Dad, for the name.
After 32 years of dedicated service to the United States federal government, may you find the appropriate place to remember your fond contributions and the success that you've had in service.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's with deep appreciation that we will present a few other items and memories for Max. Who would like to come up first? She's looking at me like, I didn't know this right here.
I'm just adding myself in. Hi there. A lot of you know me as Laura Thompson-Skeet. That's when I used to work at the Office of River Protection. And I was one of the secretaries that worked under Max. And what I want to say about Max is, and I missed what you had to say, Dick, but part of that time with ORP is they got to really take and define themselves. And one thing that Max did for the leaders of the admins is she allowed us to create our own identity, and she built a team. And what I want to say, there's two things that I want to say. But besides Max's career in service, the other thing that she did was she had a career as a working mom. And I want to say most of us were junior behind her, and she was a real mentor to us about how to balance being a mom, balance being a wife, balancing and making sure that we were recreating, and balancing and making sure that we were all there for each other. And she did an awesome job. What Max did was she built a team, and she set a model for the admin arena here in ORP, and I think that that still to this day is here and separates ORP out from some of the other organizations. But the other thing too that I want to say about Max is, and you know, on her signature line is mom, sister, aunt, cousin, friend, whatever you need me to be. And I will tell you, the few times that I've needed somebody to talk to, I've always known I could call Max and she would be there for me. And the other thing I want to say about the team that she built, to this day, we pretty much are all friends. We have that history and that bond that we had from the early years working together, and Matt established that for us. So I think that's another legacy that some of us have outside of work, and most of us have gone on. Our careers have grown tremendously since then, and a lot of that was due to Mac's leadership and basically just how she taught us how to be. So I just wanted to recognize that part and let you all know that Max has touched a lot of our lives in the admin world. And I don't normally speak, folks, so.
You did a good job.
Just hold the boss.
I think I've been introduced a couple of times, so we'll skip that part. But I thought I'd share with everyone in the room a little bit of the insight, what it's like growing up with her as a mother. Don't worry, we're going to skip that part. I think those of you that know my mother know that it's really about, some people have commented on it already, it's service above self. And that's not just in her job, that's with her raising us as children. I mean, you've seen the things that have gone on here, you've seen my aunt, dress uniform, some of the things that passed along. In our family, the patriotism runs deep. And that was instilled in us, small children, so as I stand before you with my brother, who's now in the Air just wanted to make a couple of remarks on the fact that we had to share her, and I'm proud to have shared her with my country, with many friends and family. We knew that growing up, that she was our mom, she would give us all the love that she could and that she could provide, but there were certain things that she had to do and that we were expected to do. The Sub for Santa program, there were people out there more fortunate than us, and if you knew how we grew up, we were pretty fortunate, but we were on the lower end of fortunate. But it didn't matter. It did not matter. There were people out there that had it worse than we did. And we were expected, and she wanted us to, and instilled in us that that's something we needed help with. And so we did that, because we followed her example that needed to be done. Not only that, in moving up here to Washington, there were things that had to be done. Her husband's job got transferred and moved around. They have a loving relationship. You know what? That needed to be done. It was service to her family, to her husband, and to her country. And so, like I said, I just wanted to take a few minutes to let you know that this has been something since I was knee-high to Chef that she has done. And we do appreciate it. And from the inside of the family, looking out, it's good to see all of you here and all of you recognize that this is something she's done. Thank you.
I said I didn't do a good enough job the first time. We have one other tradition in our organization, thanks to Kathy Pointer, that we actually developed a book for the retirees to take with them that has pictures of all their memories. So on behalf of Kathy, I get the privilege of doing that. So you know this means, Kathy, you can't recover.
I'll be for hire.
As you can see, it says Max Cooper Ford, Hill Air Force Base, 1981 to 1998. The U.S. Department of Energy from 1998 to 2013. And then, if you open it, that's a picture of all us in there for her to remember us by, so she knows who all her friends are. There's all the customers that she dedicatedly serves during her career. And it even has pictures, I believe. Good times.
Christy Wagnall.
Yeah. And there's opportunities on the back for people that want to sign them now.
Oh, it's like a school book. You're very
So does Max.
I love the shirt.
My name is Albert Kruger, and I joined Federal Service 6 years ago. And one of the very first people I got to meet was Max. And she was always smiling, was always willing to help. And the one thing that I came to know is that if Max was going to say that she was going to do something to make life easier, it was going to be done, and I didn't need to check on it. When I became a supervisor of largely outside new hires, each and every one of those people came to realize that's Max.
Can I go now?
My name is Paul Hernandez. For the sake of this meeting, just call me Paul, the safety guy. And that's actually how I got involved with Max. She was involved with purchasing, and for our FIOSH program, we have special forms and special processes that we sort of created to try to streamline the process. As you look around the room, you'll notice that we have what we refer to as an aging workforce. The good news is it beats the alternative. But part of growing older is your body wears out, and you just can't do the things that you used to do, and you shouldn't. And you shouldn't do things over and over and over that wear you down. So we have this little program called the Ergonomic Program. And Max was instrumental in helping me and the organization get this program to the point where it's like a smooth running process that results in people's health improving, reducing on-the-job injuries, and actually improving the quality of life. And at this point, I'm sorry to see Max go, but she has left behind the processes and the procedures for just carrying on, and it's really a good program. And for all the other safety related purchases that she made to help us employees, at the risk of joining Mark McCusker, I think I'll just end right now. Plus, she's pretty nice to work with. She's still got an hour left.
I'm Raman Vinkata. Probably I belong to the senior class here. It has been a privilege for me to know Max from the standpoint of caring and human decency. I would say that you are a personification of caring and human decency from all the people I have seen here. I am one of those fortunate ones who have had wonderful education and a career in this great country of ours. I have always maintained two important things when I spoke with my children as they grew up. For those of us who came to this great country in seeking education and pursuit of decent life, we are the fortunate ones. For those who are born in this country, you are the blessed ones. That's the statement I always maintain. And for me, having been here for 5 years and come across various people in the Department of Currency, you have really planted a sense of caring for me as I continue whatever the Lord has left for me in the years of service in the Department of Currency. You are the personification of caring and human decency, and I second our manager's statement. When I see your whole family serving the country, hats off to you.
Is there anyone else? Oh, yep. Okay.
Anytime.
You are the best friend. There's been a threesome. We're never gonna end that. I love you, Max. And I'm gonna take her clean. We have been through thick and thin, good times, bad times, and we've always stuck together. And we will do that. Congratulations.
Oh, one more? Sorry.
Sorry, maybe, we'll find out. You asked him to say a few words.
I did.
Yeah. Okay, I've got it written down because I don't want to miss any cues here. But this is a little walk down memory lane. Oh, wait, I don't know if I can tell it here. This is called A Tribute to Max. Some of you know her as Office Max. But from this point on, I'm going to think of her as maxed out. After all, she somehow managed to max out with a partner. Ahead of me. Of course, I'm 27, so. Now, y'all know that Max was instrumental in guiding managers like that guy right there, starting with Jackson Kinzer, followed by Tom Sheridan, Dick French, and here in Boston. And you heard that right. She survived managers from every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's been Roy and Dale. Yet she excelled, right, at her position. Now, when I arrived at Hanford, when was that?
Long time.
I was told that I'd be working in the Federal Building, just like many of you. But within months, we were all sent to the Smurf office building in the 200 area so that we could keep tabs on the site. Now, I'm adding a line here or two, but my brother was a tank commander, believe it or not. He should have stuck to that. But so I thought, hey, we're going to work on tanks here. So I was going to watch the tanks on the Western Front. They never moved. About the 200 area. We didn't have to worry because we're going to ride out on the bus. You remember that? I see some heads shaking. But we'd later find out that we were caught up in a government conspiracy. I can speak about conspiracies because my brother tells me about them all the time. Anyway, they soon dropped the bus service right after we got out there, so we had to join van pools. Now, when you think about the van pool, it'll really strike you a little strange because it was a conspiracy in itself. Okay. When they put us in the van pool, it was like training. It was like a way to get us trained in how to work together. You know, when you get to know one another after 2 hours of riding in the bus, you know all about their ancestors. Maybe a little bit too much. Stella can attest to that. Anyway, it was an immersion means of team building. And you know, the government made us pay for that. So anyway, Max arrived at the Smurf building soon after Jackson Kinzer took over at the helmet quarters, I think. And that's when I first recall meeting you because, I'm stealing a line from a friend of mine out in the hall, but anyway, I saw you and Kathy looking at the glass-covered desk to see if you could see any fingerprints of Jackson to figure out whether he'd been out there or not. You know, there are a lot of project managers in here, so I got to put in a few words for them.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you remember that the construction completion schedule on the Smurf building impressed all those project managers because it was, initially at least, under budget and ahead of schedule. Right? Wasn't it? I mean, can you imagine that, Dick? But apparently we were also impressed because we planted lurches birches. You remember those?
Yes, I do.
Yes, at the building dedication, but we should have known something was amiss because one of them promptly died. So we're going to talk about that. Now, I don't know if it was an omen or hushed up rad spill. But a few months later, it turned out that the building developed stress cracks just months after the dedication. Seismic loading wasn't, but I don't know. As a result, Max and Kathy had us go through an exercise to move under all our file cabinets into the middle of the building. Because, boy, did that give you confidence or what? Somehow Max fits into the conspiracy, though. don't look innocent. Because she convinced Dick to move us all back to town. I'm convinced to this day that the news of the seismic cracking in the Squirt building was picked up by the DNFSB and led us to the seismic investigation of all future structures, including the WTP. And I'm looking at the guy smiling over there because, well, he must have had something to do with it because he got an award for it. Now, on a more serious note, we'll all agree that you're a patriot. And best of all, she's family, right? And the best thing about working here is that we got a big family, because I come from the East Coast, and actually I'm much better off out here than back there with my family, so. She was, yeah, you'd agree, right?
I would agree.
And she's as much concerned about Cindy's family as she is about each of us. And that says a lot to all of us, and that's why we really love you guys. Okay. So see you on Facebook. See Max on Facebook? I just want you to know, I am the big brother to the big brother.
Okay, now? Okay, so of course, last but not least, is me. So obviously you can tell I'm a retired fire chief from the uniform, but the part you may not know is I've done it twice. I retired from the Air Force, and then I also retired from civil service. So, and earlier today you said this again, she always says that she didn't serve, she just supported us. And I've never believed that. So we're going to make her an honorary Air Force member today. And then another thing for you prior service members. Am I getting free drinks or what? So we have the tradition of the coin. Yes. And if other service members are around and they don't produce theirs, they owe me drinks. But this is, I'm the president of the Washington State E9 Association, which is the highest enlisted rank, so it has all 5 branches of service on it. Oh, wow. And this is my coin, and I actually want to give it to you. Oh. Wow. Okay, now is the part where we really cry. The part you've all been waiting for. The floor is yours. And I'll get your speech up for you. I know, this is the front page. It's here. We just had to move it around. There. Nope, that's not it either. I got them.
And this, by the way, is how we run our family, too. Okay. Thank you all for coming. I'm not going to look at you because I will cry. As I leave my civil service career, I'm going to miss my connection with all of you and everybody I've worked with previously. Whoever thought when I started as a GS2 that I would have met a president, helped hundreds of kids through programs such as Suffer Santa and Stars, and I would have touched so many lives in such a positive way. As you know from what Sandy just said about my first 17 years, it was spent in Villa Air Force Base in support of God. I had some wonderful life-changing experiences. Going to the White House to receive my 786th point of light was a huge event for me. Another highlight was my supervisor of my deaf girls, and I absolutely was honored to be their supervisor. There are very few people in the deaf community that they allow in, and I was one that they let in. And they taught me more sign language than I learned from the teachers. I was also a supervisor where I hired the GS3s, 4s, and 5s as they came in to the contracting area. And I got some very motivated people And I'd like to tell you that I'm very, very proud that several of them are now 13s, 14s, and 2 15s, and I hired them. So I'm very proud to be able to help out the department and the contracting field. Coming to DOE was like moving to another planet. My life was wrapped around the military, especially the Air Force. So learning all that I have about tank waste and all the great things that we're doing here at Hanford, it's been very interesting to say the least. You all speak a different language. Besides all the technical terms I've learned, my very first all hands meeting, way back, when we had SY 101, the burping tank. Wahid was speaking about it, and with his accent, and me not understanding a single word of his technical questions to Mr. Kinzer, there was my introduction to DOE. And my time at ORP has been a very interesting ride. I've had several surgeries, my health hasn't always been the best, and you have all helped me through it. You supported me through the good times and the bad. To let you in a little bit on my life, I have a couple things I'd like to share with you. I'd like to tell you that I am 3 of 4 sisters, and we have all, the 3 here, been invited to the White House from different presidents to get different awards. This is a tribute to the upbringing of our parents. Please note that the military played and still plays a huge part in my life. My parents, Dick and Helen Cooper, have instilled in me the love, the drive, the skills, my empathetic side, and helped guided me to become the person that I am today. As I'm sure you know, my love of God and country is deeply ingrained in me, and it's due to these 2 people here today. My father was in the Navy and was then very active in the American Legion, as was my mother. Besides my father and my grandfather, several of my uncles that served active duty, my baby sister Sandy became the first female fire chief of the Air Force. She also rose through the civilian ranks to become the fire chief at McCord Air Force Base and now retired. My niece Beth, who is Skyping with us, spent 6 years in the Air Force on operational intel, and she was in England and she worked on political and military studies. But on her return to Vegas, she was a main mission planning person for the M9 Reaper drone in Las Vegas. You can Google that one. As I speak to you today, my 34-year-old son is in tech school at Shepherd Air Force Base, learning to become an F-16 crew chief until the F-35s roll out, and that's the direction of his career. Our other children are Rich, Laura, Jill, and they're outstanding parents, and they have a great work ethic. They each make great contributions to their communities and to their families, and I'm very proud and honored of each of them. And they bring wonderful people to my lives. And I got great daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws to thank my children for. I love each of you. The drive and passion and commitment to our duties was instilled to all of us at a very young age. And this is an honor to be part of my life, to take a minute to recognize my parents. I'd like to give them a couple mementos to honor them for our family and the sacrifice they made for our country and our family. Please say yes. Yeah.
Feet on the table.
On the tape.
You don't have your feet on that day.
Are you ready? This is a pin and a plaque from the American Legion. It is called Paid Up for Life. It is issued in grateful appreciation to Richard H. Cooper, who by becoming a Paid Up for Life member has demonstrated loyalty and dedication to his organization. His lifelong commitment contributes greatly to the perpetuation of the American Legion's highest ideals and programs of service to the community, the state, and the nation. In recognition, this testimonial is given under the hand of the National Commander and duly attested by the National Adjutant at Indianapolis, Indiana. Signed, the National Adjutant and the National Commander. And it comes with a pin and with coins.
67 years, by the way. I never heard about coins. Or I should say, coins came long after a name. Very nice.
Mom, will you come up, please? And Brandon. This is to honor Helen Cooper for her role with the American Legion Auxiliary. The Auxiliary was founded in 1919 and is the world's largest women's patriotic service organization. It has a membership of over 800,000 strong. Local American Legion Auxiliary units have been a strong presence in more than 9,800 communities nationwide. In the spirit of service, not self, the mission of the American Legion Auxiliary is to support the American Legion and to honor the sacrifice of those who serve by enhancing the lives of veterans, military, and their families. For God and country, the Women's Auxiliary advocate for veterans, educate the nation, and mentor youth, promote patriotism, good citizenship, peace, and security. My mother, having been a past president and having held many other offices, is being presented this plaque by Max with her past president's gold-filled pin with pearls and the certificate of accomplishment. Yeah, no. I haven't been able to see it. I'm so sorry. Okay. I actually put in the script, blubbering by now. It is our greatest honor, on behalf of all of your family and friends and the United States of America, we would like to present to you what is considered to be the most honored and cherished